I thought Grandma was acting a little strange. Wonder why. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Okanaski of WeAreChange.org. And yes, that was a satirical video that we started this video with. But with today's news cycle, you never know. Especially with the utter lunacy that we are seeing on the mainstream media that is now telling us that if you get the conholio sickness jab experimental rushed medicine, that, quote, this won't change anything and won't stop you from getting the sickness, even according to Dr. Fauci. Now, maybe this could be the reason why, speculating that the Pfizer CEO is not taking his own product. But as the new up-and-coming mainstream media's favorite doctor, Vin Gupta, put it, that even after the second dose of this experimental rushed jab, that he will continue to wear masks, to continue to social distance, and avoid travel until supreme mainstream media-loved Dr. Fauci says otherwise. He even announced this on the prostitute channel of MSNBC, specifically telling a person who says that he plans to travel after receiving the second dose not to do so. And he says all of the restrictions and lockdowns are still in place until everyone, yes, he says everyone, received the jab twice, which on its face value doesn't really seem logical, especially everything that was promised by our politicians and, of course, the medical professionals that they hire, leaving people on edge to do anything and everything to go back to, quote, normal. Again, if you remember what was told to us, we were told everything's going to go back to normal as soon as we get this jab, and now, again, we're seeing the goalpost moved down the line, and some most likely low-information, obese Americans even saying that they're willing to put an iPod Nano inside of them if they could just be allowed to get drunk at the Olive Garden again. And to celebrate this shifting of the goalpost, there are even masks that are being sold right now that will label you an individual who did get the jab, as of course it now seems like the trendy new virtual signaling that we're seeing pushed out by many of the media celebrities out there, like Oliver Stone, that literally, while in Russia, took the Sputnik 5 jab, which medical professionals are telling people not to drink alcohol in a 3-month span after taking this jab. And here we see Oliver Stone giving the, quote, V for victory sign after getting this Sputnik 5 jab. This virtual signaling along with the TikTok dances, I think is maybe just, not maybe the best time to try to build up your social media followers, but with the way that things are going, who the hell cares anymore? As of course, politicians have this delusional belief and idea that somehow in 2020 they are now in charge of our health. That's not the government's job, and it should never be their job because they've been doing a horrible job at it from the very beginning. Conversations about diet, exercise, sleep, stress, non-existent, but shutting down small businesses is definitely the right thing to do. But hey, if you want to use the subway, well, the mayor is going to ride it to show you that it is safe. Yes, the mayor of New York City, Clown World Emperor-in-Chief, Bill de Blasio, is going to do a public ride on the subway to show everyone that that is safe, but eating in a restaurant is not, as he just officially closed all indoor dining in New York City. Again, just idiotic moves based on no science at all, and showing a clearer trend of how many of these lockdowns, many of these restrictions, many of these decrees are just used to destroy civil liberties rather than actually help people. And even according to the Sweden-based International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, they ruled that many of these lockdowns and restrictions violated democratic standards because they were, quote, either disproportionately illegal, indefinite, or unnecessary in relation to the health threat. And I do believe their assessment on civil liberties being hindered by these lockdowns is absolutely correct. But in this modern media day and age, it is somehow being celebrated and promoted. Those channels connected to special interests that are caught time and time again bold-faced lying to you, they get promoted in the algorithm, in the search rankings. They get fully monetized, while here, we, of course, face the total opposite of that, and we have to rely on sponsors to keep this independent media broadcast going. And one of them is SafePreparedAndReady.com. They are a company that I've been working with for a number of years now. I absolutely like them. I use their products when I go camping or to Burning Man when that was still a thing. And if you're looking for survival food with taste that has a 25-year shelf life, check out SafePreparedAndReady.com. The link to that will be down in the description below. They make great prepper Christmas gifts. Click the link down below to get yours today. Now, just jumping into our main topic, which the mainstream media butchered, lied about blatantly from the very beginning, and that, of course, is the saga of Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. It is important to note that just as of moments ago, Julian Assange has formally, officially requested a pardon from U.S. President Donald Trump. A president who, by the way, when he was campaigning, said that he, quote, loves the WikiLeaks, but when he became president of the United States, said that, quote, I don't know who Julian Assange is, which again was just an absolute bold-faced lie. A few days ago, there was hope that Julian Assange would be pardoned, as a pastor that was close to Donald Trump released the information that Donald Trump would be, in fact, pardoning Julian Assange. Then, of course, he issued a correction and said that his sourcing was wrong on this story. But this is a key, important legal battle happening right now in the United Kingdom to get Julian Assange here in the United States to face charges that would essentially send him away for life. He's facing 175 years, a maximum penalty for the crime of... What did he do here? Well, he did what the mainstream media publications used to do. Publish information. And if Julian Assange gets extradited to the United States and most likely will be criminally charged for the crime of publishing information, this will allow any sitting president to get anyone in the world, regardless of their citizenship, and jail them for releasing information that the United States just doesn't like. That's a very bold power. That is a very destructive power. That is a power that no man should have on this world. And we should be doing everything in our power, whether you like Julian Assange or not, to make sure that the executive office at the Department of Justice does not have this power, since, of course, they use the full might of the mainstream media to lie to you about these circumstances, which was just exposed today by Project Veritas that released a never-before-heard phone call between Julian Assange and, at then time, Hillary Clinton's State Department. A phone call that proves the mainstream media lies about Julian Assange being reckless and careless about his leaks, which they claim he was, falls flat on its face when you see the Project Veritas video that was just released. And Julian Assange did seek to clearly minimize risk to individuals through the release of the data that was not done by him. Even Edward Snowden pointed out this extraordinary recording, which I have never heard before, confirms that WikiLeaks made for years, but its critics dismissed as lies. Even recently, former State Department officials were on national public radio, funded mainstream media garbage networks, and they were able to lie blatantly about this very situation without NPR even contesting them. And again, the State Department was caught bold-faced lying to the American public about what actually happened here so they could portray Julian Assange in a negative light. I'm sorry, but when you have someone exposing bigger truths and when you have another institution lying, I'm always going to be siding with the person exposing bigger truths than the obvious liars. I'm sorry, I'm sick and disgusted at these plutocratic, big fat cat government officials that think they could just blatantly lie and not be held accountable for their atrocities against the truth. Julian Assange's life matters, and it is at the helm of U.S. President Donald Trump right now, who should reverse his decision and free Julian Assange. Now, will he? Well, that's a whole nother question, because we also have to understand it is because of his administration why Julian Assange is in jail right now. He's the one that cut the deal with the Ecuadorians, with the United Kingdom, and now Julian Assange is in such a vulnerable position that he is right now. But who knows what's going to happen, as even Rudy Giuliani, yes, this absolutely shocked me. This absolutely surprised me that even Rudy Giuliani is making arguments towards pardoning Julian Assange. I thought I would never see this, but that's literally what happened here. Now, again, we don't know what Donald Trump will do, and there is a small, very tiny chance that Donald Trump will actually do the right thing here and pardon him, but the fact still stands that there's, quote, zero chance that Assange or Snowden or anyone else who whistleblows will be pardoned under the Biden presidency. But even with this small chance, we should still try to promote this larger idea and try to get the messaging out there that Assange should be pardoned. Other news that shows you that there is still a chance that Assange might be pardoned is the news that was just released by the Daily Beast that, according to two of their sources, that U.S. President Donald Trump actually expressed sympathy for the situation of Ross Ulbricht, who of course is serving a double life sentence without the possibility of parole for essentially running a website. Specifically, the Silk Road, where the U.S. government went after him because of the, quote, illicit activities that happened on his website. And if you're going to go after Ross for that, what about the individuals who are using Facebook Messenger to also commit other illegal acts? Will Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook be ever held liable for that? Now, of course, this is not a clear translation, but essentially what we're looking at is an important case of website liability of other users' activity on them. Now, as you know, we personally covered the story of Ross Ulbricht almost every single year. We usually do an interview with Ross's mother at PorcFest. We were the first media organization to interview Ross's mother, Lynn Ulbricht, and after hearing her out, hearing the side of the story that you're not hearing on the mainstream media, it is pretty clear that Ross Ulbricht should also be pardoned. Now, according to these two sources for the Daily Beast, which, and again, their reporting is mixed. Their reporting on the Epstein situation is absolutely incredible and does deserve some praise. Other kind of elements of their reporting should also be heavily criticized, but when it comes to these two anonymous sources, they are saying that Trump is privately expressing sympathy for Ulbricht and is considering his name for the next round of pardons, but it's still unclear whether Trump has arrived at a final decision to do so or not. I hope he does, because in my opinion, Ross deserves a second chance at life. Now, moving on to the third person facing the full might of the intelligentsia deep state, we of course have the situation with Edward Snowden, which Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is calling on Donald Trump to pardon, which, of course, I also agree with her on. Again, very clear choice here. It's either the people who tell you the truth and then the people who lie to you who want to punish the people who told the truth about them. The lines are not blurred here, but they are for people like Lindsey Graham, who's foaming at his little chicken hawk mouth, who came out with a statement today saying that, quote, Edward Snowden is a traitor. He has, quote, American blood on his hands and should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Going on and saying, quote, Snowden betrayed his country, sought shelter in Putin's Russia and put Americans' lives at risk, as well as those who risk their lives to help us in foreign lands. Even more hyperbolically saying, quote, to pardon Snowden would be a betrayal of all those who have sacrificed since 9/11 to protect our nation. And wow, just when you thought they couldn't get more idiotic and ridiculous, here we have Lindsey Graham taking the cake. Also, just bold-faced lying about the exact circumstances of this entire situation, which he lied about. And if you look at some of these wild allegations that he just threw at Edward Snowden, there's absolutely nothing backing them. There's no data, there's no facts, there's no evidence, there's no documents showing any of his allegations being true at all. Quite to the contrary, there's evidence showing that the leaks by Edward Snowden led to no one's death, and if you remember, he was transporting through Russia and was only left there when the United States got rid of his passport. He was going to a Latin American country where he had a deal for asylum. He had nothing to do with 9/11, and for Lindsey Graham to invoke the lives lost on 9/11 for his larger bloodlust and propaganda push is absolutely disgusting, and he truly is one of the worst swamp monsters that deserves to be called out for his treacherous lies. Again, this is also the person very close to Donald Trump, and it is also important to note here that Donald Trump previously called for the execution of Edward Snowden. And I have to refer to a tweet sent out by Edward Snowden yesterday that said, quote, when a crooked politician calls me a traitor, ask yourself, who did I betray? The courts have ruled repeatedly that the programs I revealed were unlawful and likely unconstitutional, a violation of your rights. If this is treason, what they call loyalty is a crime, and I have to absolutely agree with him then. So yeah, that's my particular take on this issue. If you disagree with me, let me know why in the comment section below. Also, economically, we're not doing too well. Cryptocurrencies are going up. If you listened to our channel many, many years ago when we were telling you about this new revolutionary technology and its possibilities, you are very welcome. If you wish to pay forward some of the humble advice we gave out years ago, you can help us out on wearechange.org/donate, which we also accept cryptocurrencies on. So yeah, you don't have to, but it'll be nice. Also, another thing to look out for is the U.S. Treasury Department trying to push through a new law that would make you having your own private keys to your cryptocurrencies, quote, illegal. Yes, a major battle is raging right now. We need to pay attention to it, and we need to stand up for our individual sovereignty and rights, and we will do that by safeguarding the truth and calling out the disgusting liars in our society that pervert it for their own personal benefit. So yeah, that's happening, and thank you guys so much for watching. Also, I am co-hosting this week the Timcast IRL podcast, so if you want to join me on there, definitely check out his channel. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.